Good evening and thank you so much for keeping it with UBC TV. Welcome to News Tonight. This Thursday, the 27th of August, 2026. Let's start with a look at the headlines. Kingdom calls for calm as Toro's King Oyo reported critically ill. President Museveni commissions Marriott Hotel, boosting Kampala's hospitality sector. Prosecution witness details alleged assassination plot in Besigye prison case. While 71 scholarship awardees flagged off for studies abroad. We thank you so much for tuning in. My name is Michael Jordan Lukomwa. Dorothy Namuyomba joins in for sign language interpretation. We apologize for a few minutes delay, but still here we are with news tonight. In our first story, we start with an information from the Kingdom of Toro, and we'll have it straight to all the Batoro and the general public. This is to inform you that His Majesty King Oyo is currently in a critical condition. At this difficult and deeply concerning time, we humbly ask the people of Toro, our friends and well-wishers in Uganda and across the world, to keep His Majesty in their thoughts and prayers. We equally appeal to everyone to refrain from speculation, rumors, or sharing unverified information regarding His Majesty's condition. We understand the concern and anxiety that news of this nature will naturally cause, but we ask for calm, restraint, and respect for His Majesty and the royal family. The official channels of Toro Kingdom will provide updates as and when appropriate. For now, the Kingdom asks that we stand together in prayer for His Majesty. Yes, that is an official statement from the Kingdom of Toro following speculative information that is all over social media, and that's what the Kingdom has to say, calling everybody to keep calm. His Majesty is in critical condition but alive. Now, Uganda's hospitality industry has received a major boost with the launch of the Marriott Hotel in Kampala, and investment stakeholders say is timely as the country prepares to co-host the Africa Cup of Nations. President Museveni, who presided over the launch, lauded the proprietors for investing in Uganda and for promoting locally produced products, turning them into exportable goods for international markets. The president reiterated his government's commitment to supporting the hotel and tourism sector, noting that such investments are key drivers for job creation and the country's socio-economic transformation.
Beautiful in the evening, shining at night, and elegant in the morning, the new Marriott Hotel is a fresh boost to Uganda's hospitality sector. Its unveiling comes as Uganda prepares to co-host the Africa Cup of Nations, making the investment timely, worthwhile, and strategic.
We will continue to put in place measures that reduce the cost of doing business by streamlining regulation, strengthening tourism infrastructure, and marketing Uganda globally. Even without AFCON, the establishment is already making its mark by creating much-needed jobs for Ugandans.
We have employed more than 1,800 people, both engineers, casual laborers, indirect and direct workers have benefited from this investment so far. Government undertakes to facilitate you and provide you with all the requirements in the timely manner.
However, one major hurdle remains: the burden of multiple taxes. Hotel owners are now calling on President Museveni to intervene.
I'm told it is close 27 taxes others are double taxes, others are indirect taxes, others are direct taxes that the hotels in Uganda are facing.
In response, President Museveni reaffirmed his commitment to supporting the growth of the hotel and tourism industry.
Because we say a new investment, 10 years tax holiday. So why wouldn't the government not get 10 years tax holiday? And the tax holiday we are talking about is tax holiday on corporate tax, which means you have operated, you have paid your costs, and you have made a profit. Before you make a profit, we don't tax you. So we are saying that even after 10 years, if you don't make a profit, we don't tax you. We tax profit.
The president also commended hotel proprietors who are adding value to locally produced goods, turning them into exportable products.
So it is an export. The government has now graduated into not only being an importer, being a distributor of internal products, he is now an exporter, because many outsiders will be coming here and paying.
According to the president, such initiatives are central to Uganda's socio-economic transformation agenda.
So I'm very glad to see that Marriott have got good spectacles to see where wealth is for the future. Because this is a growing market. The purchasing power is growing. The GDP per capita now is 1,000 something for Uganda. So you can imagine when it is about 20,000 per capita, how much more consumption shall we have for Uganda?
A view shared by other leaders who attended the launch.
It means we have jobs for our people, we have services, world standard or international standard services for our people. So the economy is going to increase. There is a lot of local content here.
A lot of employment has been created, and that one is going to put money into the pockets of many Ugandans. And as we look towards becoming a high middle income country, with this kind of investment, I see we are headed to the right direction as a country.
The Marriott Hotel is the latest addition to Uganda's growing hospitality portfolio. It is a sign of confidence at a time when the country's tourism sector continues to register steady progress. Henry Okrut, UBC.
The Uganda People's Defence Forces has promoted 473 general, senior and junior officers in a move that will see them take on greater responsibilities within the force. The promotions come as the UPDF strengthens its leadership and the national defence capacity within the newly elevated officers, expected to fill gaps within the force and contribute to ensuring safety and security for the nation. The promoted officers have pledged to uphold the values of the force, including supporting the fight against corruption, and Deputy Chief of Defence Forces, Lieutenant General Sam Okiding, urged them to remain steadfast in building a resilient UPDF.
The Uganda People's Defence Forces has promoted 473 general, senior and junior officers. The promotions include 6 major generals, 21 brigadier generals, 39 colonels, 59 lieutenant colonels, 75 majors, 184 captains and 89 second lieutenants whose probation has been terminated and elevated to the rank of lieutenant.
And commissioned 27 militants to the rank of lieutenant. Their promotion marks a significant milestone, not only for the officers who have been promoted, but also for the Uganda People's Defence Force as an institution, as well as for our nation, which they have and indeed do serve diligently. It is certainly a remarkable moment in the continuous professionalization journey of the Uganda People's Defence Forces.
At the UPDF headquarters, 27 general officers and 39 colonels have been decorated with their new ranks, while junior officers will be decorated from their respective service headquarters. Among the decorated general officers are Major General Joseph Musoke Semwanga, the Commander Reserve Forces, Major General James Musinguzi Bagonza, the Chief of Staff Land Forces. Others include Major General David Robert Gonyi, the Commandant Senior Commandant Staff College Chimaka, Major General Michael Nyarwa Simba, the Commandant Marine, Major General Godwin Karugaba, the Joint Staff Logistics, Major General Richard Karimire, the Joint Staff Formal Education, Sport and Culture and former Defence spokesperson. Among the Brigadier Generals decorated are Brigadier General James Rwakitungo, the Chief of Staff Air Force, Brigadier General James Mango Baraza, the Chief of Staff Special Forces Command, and Brigadier General James Kasule, the Deputy Commander, 2 Infantry Division, among others. Speaking on behalf of the decorated officers, Major General Joseph Serwada, who is the commander of the Reserve Forces, has thanked the President of the Republic of Uganda and the Uganda People's Defence Forces leadership for giving them an opportunity to serve, while also acknowledging the support extended to them by their families while in service.
We make a pledge, all of us who have been decorated today, to remain loyal, disciplined, and ideologically upright, to protect the people and their property, to join in the renewed fight against corruption, and uphold the good image of the UPDF.
The Deputy Chief of Defence Forces and also Inspector of the Uganda People's Defence Forces, Lieutenant General Sam Okiding, has said that military promotions are achievements for the nation, the officers and their families. He also adds that military promotions are earned through hard work and sacrifice.
Do what you are tasked to do. It comes through long hours of service, tough challenges, and a steady commitment to the mission and the people you lead. Thank you very much. You have acknowledged that you have got it because you have people whom you lead.
Our protocol officers make sure everyone is well positioned. Someone is out of the group photograph.
All eyes will be on the UPDF and police as the inter-forces shooting competition take off tomorrow at the airfield range ground in Gulu. The two giants of the range face off in what promises to be a tense battle of precision and pride, with other forces also eyeing an upset.
It's all set for shooting range competition as security forces gear up for the final showdown at the airfield range ground in Gulu. UPDF, Uganda Wildlife Authority, police and prisons have completed their final shooting drills ahead of tomorrow's decisive contest.
Today we are here at the shooting range. Shooting range is part of the areas that are going to be competed in.
we have the Uganda People's Defense Forces, the Uganda Prison Service, Uganda Police Force, and Uganda Wildlife Authority. For the shooting range, the teams have been practicing since the 22nd of this month, and they're in good shape, we've been told by the range officer, and they're ready for the competition. Today was their last day for the rehearsals, and they're in good shape.
In today's practice sessions, shooters showcased their marksmanship in the 50-meter pistol range with precision and accuracy on display.
The magazine of 6 rounds. Standing position, load, standby.
During the 50-meter pistol and AK-47 rifle practice, UPDF Special Forces Command marksman stood out with his accuracy, hitting the bull's eye unmatched. Police followed with impressive accuracy in both pistol and AK-47 meter, 200-meter range. Each participant practiced shooting falling plates from 200 meters in kneeling, standing, and laying down. The range commander for the Inter-Forces, Lieutenant Colonel Moses Opelo, said the shooting practice has produced promising results, high levels of discipline, and readiness ahead of the final competition.
So we take you through 75 meters sitting position, 50 meters kneeling position, and 25 meters standing position. To get a winner, we add the marks of short range, long range, the total marks, the highest marks scored. That is the determinant.
This year's competition will feature 300 meters, 200, 75, and 50-meter categories. To determine the winner, scores from all shooting positions are tallied, with the highest aggregate taking gold. The battle for gold is expected to be between UPDF and police, but Uganda Prison Service and WUA cannot be underestimated. Haruna Mtesasira, UBC News.
Tonight, Uganda's growing urban population is increasing demand for decent and affordable housing, but rising construction costs and difficult financing are leaving many ordinary Ugandans struggling to own homes. Housing Minister of State Princess Persis Namuganza is now calling for affordable housing and more flexible financing for borrowers. Henry Okurut has the detail.
Across Uganda's growing towns, new houses are rising almost every day. But behind this construction boom is a widening question of who can actually afford these homes. For Housing State Minister Princess Namuganza Persis, the answer lies in designing housing around people's incomes.
For example, if you construct a house between 60, 70 million Uganda shillings, just give people like 5-6 years, even a border will pay for that money.
Namuganza says developers are concentrating too much on expensive homes while leaving low and middle-income earners behind. She believes flexible payment arrangements could make modestly priced homes accessible to more Ugandans.
And then their houses have started collapsing. Have you seen them also, some of them? They keep painting, they paint, they keep rehabilitating until they are running out of money even to rehabilitate. And no buyer has shown up what? Yet. So imagine if you had targeted very smart low-income people, those houses would be bought.
But the minister is also raising concern about borrowers who lose their properties after struggling to service loans. She wants banks to consider restructuring and repayment agreements before moving to recover properties.
Ladies and gentlemen, it disheartens me as a minister in charge of housing and urban development when I see people's houses, commercial and residential, being marked, advertised by the what? By the, it's like a name marking, but at least name can mark. But now this one you're putting effort And people are dying now. Heart attacks and what? You get it?
For Kenya Commercial Bank, lending decisions are primarily guided by a borrower's ability to repay rather than the property used as security.
When we are assessing customers for mortgages, we don't even want to concentrate on the security. Our main focus is on how is this loan going to be paid. So we spend more time understanding the repayment sources and how this customer is going to be able to pay the loan. Security only comes in after we have tried everything. We have tried to rehabilitate if it's a business. We've tried to restructure. So it is never our focus.
The housing debate is also moving beyond ownership to the quality of the settlements being created.
Now, our young people, Honorable Minister, are haunted. They are being asked of a home, a house. But today the cost of owning a home, whether it's building or buying, has gone so high. Honorable Minister, we need a solution on that.
That's why, for me, I don't think that a tenfold strategy and the plan is being too much ambitious. It's possible, colleagues, if we all work together as different players in this sector.
The goal is to make housing not just available, but affordable, well-planned, and financially sustainable.
In the name of the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit.
Henry Okurut, UBC.
Thank you.
After close to 4 decades at the helm of Uganda, President Yoweri Museveni's supporters say his leadership has been marked by significant achievements in infrastructure development, security, economic growth, women empowerment, and regional integration. As President Museveni prepares to mark his 82nd birthday on the 19th of September, a group of Ugandan youth has organized an event at Kololo to celebrate what they describe as his enduring legacy.
Under the theme, "The Legacy That Inspires the Generation," is intended to give younger people an opportunity to reflect on the achievements they associate with President Museveni's leadership and the impact of his policies on Uganda.
Call upon the young people across Uganda, East Africa and Africa to celebrate, study, emulate and build upon the legacy of His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni while taking upon the future of our continent. The 19th of September celebration will therefore not only honor the life of service, it will be a call of action to the new generation to advance the vision and the united, integrated Africa.
The organizers under Gen Z for Gen 7, led by Israel Charisima, says the improvement in roads and other infrastructure, the restoration of security and stability, increased participation of women in national development, and efforts to strengthen Uganda's position within the East Africa community are among other key areas to be highlighted.
But this is not just about celebrating, it's about embracing his legacy, and embracing his legacy, mostly the foundation that he has laid for us as Ugandans and East Africa. One of the most biggest foundation and the blessing that we as young people, the Gen Zs, should embrace is the East African Federation, which he revived in 1992.
The event will bring together younger Ugandans to showcase what they consider the key milestone achieved over the past 4 decades, while also discussing the values of perseverance, determination and leadership.
As a fountain of honor, who espouses patience, perseverance, responsible living, being accommodative, and putting Uganda first. From that time, having now captured the tools of power, he said, now I have an opportunity to reorganize this country. And for the last, how many years? 40, he has been doing exactly that. Reorganize.
Ugandans, especially the youth, have been called upon to attend the call celebration and join the reflection on what the organizers describe as a legacy that continues to inspire a new generation.
We will engage young people across the region and encourage them to understand that integration is not only about governments, it is about their future, their opportunities and their prosperity.
Friends of Uganda, I invite you join us on 19 September 2026 here at Kororo. Celebrate this important legacy.
Joseph Muyingo for UBC.
Officials of the National Uganda Airlines Company Limited have been squeezed to explain the 230.816 billion shillings financial loss they made during the financial year 2024-25, which members of the Committee on Statutory Authorities and State Enterprises say has affected the operation of the company. The Chief Financial Officer, Uganda Airlines, Cheyune Allen, said that the airline has narrow revenue streams and majorly relies on passenger cargo.
Officials of National Uganda Airlines Company Limited, led by the Chief Executive Officer, Giema Wek, and the former CEO, Jennifer Muturaki, have appeared before the Parliamentary Committee on Statutory Authorities and State Enterprises to answer queries in the Auditor General's report for financial year ending June 2025. The auditor observed that the company during the year under review made financial losses of 230 billion shillings.
That the airline has narrow revenue streams. We've been reliant majorly on passenger and cargo. There is no airline in the world that will be profitable relying on only two revenue streams majorly, which is passenger and cargo.
Issue to tickets and they are duplicated. Someone is given a ticket to fly to London, but the same serial number. This loss, it is incumbent on you to tell us whether it is true that you have been giving such tickets. Even the one of Juba you were saying, at managerial level, we know what is happening in Juba and we can accept. But once losses occur, there is corruption.
9.2 billion, which came as a finance cost due to foreign exchange losses. What strategy do you have in addressing losses arising out of foreign exchange transactions?
While giving the status of the company, CEO Giema said the 6 airlines government bought, 2 were grounded over engine problems at the time he joined the company early this year. He, however, told the committee that the current fleet of airlines operates on 15 routes and they plan to increase them to 17.
And if you want to operate in all these routes and yet you have a crisis, most of the aircrafts are grounded, as you have stated already. It will be, I think along the way, there will be a disappointment again to the customers because you are relying on third parties.
Now, what is your plan over that when you are trying to open up routes without a feasibility study?
Equally worried, and I'm not yet convinced that even the new strategy of opening up new routes without a thorough feasibility study on what would be the performance of those routes.
We opened the route, we're operating Dubai, Mumbai for the Airbus in the period that is under audit. We're also incurring punitive charges on the engine because those routes were not optimum for the Airbus.
Giema told members of the committee that the existing routes are few and narrow, hence company losing a lot of money.
We are operating except on very few routes except Nairobi, and now we started some to Johannesburg. We operate 1 flight a day. When Kenya Airways operates 3 flights a day on the route, and you operate 1 day, you are not giving choice to your customers. You have to give choice. Customers buy choice. In order to do that, you have to increase frequency.
The chairperson of the committee, Mwada Nkunyinji, asked officials to explain the condition in which the aircrafts were in at purchase.
Best airplane. You did not buy a useless airplane. The A330 is an excellent airplane by all standards.
The aircraft were new, brand new.
According to what?
According to the documentation that I have seen and we presented to the previous committees.
What was that documentation?
It was the aircraft purchase documents, the agreements.
Other issues that brought debate in the committee was the 1.9 trillion shillings government invested in the airline, with only 200 million shillings being recognized as share capital. I'm Nafka Farida at Parliament.
Members of Parliament on the Committee on Physical Infrastructure have grilled Uganda Railways Corporation officials over the expenditure of 165,000 euros, approximately 600 million shillings, to level land for privately owned factory producing concrete railway sleepers. The factory, operated by Spanish-backed Imathia Construction, is located on URC land, with MPs questioning why the corporation financed the groundworks yet reportedly earns only 1.2 million shillings in monthly rent. The MPs are now carrying out an oversight of URC's operations and investments to establish whether public resources are being used efficiently.
Parliament on the Committee of Physical Infrastructure have embarked on an oversight exercise of Uganda Railways Corporation, scrutinizing its investment, expenditure and ongoing railway rehabilitation projects. At the center of their inquiry is the use of public funds to prepare land for a privately owned factory. Uganda Railways Corporation spent 165,000 euros, about 600 million shillings, to level the ground on which Imathia Construction established a factory for manufacturing concrete railway sleepers.
You leased to Imathia this land. Why did you include the 165,000 euro component to level it for people you have leased?
This building and what is there belongs to Imathia.
So what do we own here?
The land.
And if you told us we own the foundation.
So we own the land.
Then now you are changing.
No, I'm not changing.
How
I'm
many
saying
millions for everybody? 165.
No, I still stand.
Euros.
I still stand with what I said. I said we spent 169,000 euros to level the ground.
To level just this ground, just level. You told us in the committee that we own the foundation.
Chairman, that's the record I remember.
And it was on record, it was recorded. Now when we have reached here, you are telling us we don't own the foundation.
They made it clear to the president of this country that they have put up a factory on URC land, and they required that if government can consider issuing them a lease.
The sleepers are being manufactured for use in the rehabilitation of Kampala-Malabar railway line as URC transitions from traditional steel sleepers to concrete. But during their oversight, members of Parliament cautioned why URC would spend public money developing land for a private investor. The factory occupies approximately 1.89 acres of URC land.
More than around 2,500 concrete sleepers were used for a turnout. You must know the meters of that turnout so that we can compute the sleepers that were used on that turnout.
300 meters at Interfreight, then 2 of 600 meters at Nama.
Quantity of sleepers. Originally, it was supposed to be 49-something thousand. In the contract addendum, we have 47,180.
We have used the truck from Kampala to Mukono. Didn't you feel any value for the money? Forget about the processes. The processes may not have been perfect.
It depends on how much.
Despite the corporation spending about 6 million shillings on ground leveling alone, members of Parliament say URC receives only 1.2 million shillings in monthly rent from Imathia Construction. The lawmakers say the figure raised questions about the value government is getting from the arrangement.
You said it's supposed to be 1.2 million shillings per month.
Yes.
Why is it supposed to be? Okay. So what has been affected?
The net is 1.2. When you add VAT, it becomes about 1.4.
The legal opinion came saying that the factory remain owned by Imathia, the company. So this is something which we cannot go about.
We must first clean up even before we look for more money. All those we believe have been misusing even the little we have given, the little of the taxpayer, we must clean up before we go to the floor to request Parliament to give them more money.
I've not seen any value for money
The money that was put in is a lot compared to what we are getting out of this.
Meanwhile, Uganda Railway Corporation is seeking 23.33 billion shillings to facilitate passenger coaches and railway rehabilitation.
We are working with the government of Uganda through the Ministry of Finance and Planning and Economic Development to give us funds to procure the coaches. And we are planning to procure 30 coaches plus two locomotives.
We totally disagree with this. We believe we can buy locomotives and these coaches.
The oversight comes as Uganda prepares to co-host the Pamoja 2027 Africa Cup of Nations. Irene Faith Nantongo, Mike Bakabulindi, UBC News.
Minister for Relief, Disaster Preparedness and Refugees Sam Engola has cited for more interventions and coordinated actions in supporting communities affected by climate change. The minister was officiating at the launch of the National Plan of Action for Implementation on Migration, Environment and Climate Change that seeks to address impacts of climate change.
Uganda faces growing climate-related mobility challenges as disasters increasingly drive displacement and vulnerability. The launched National Plan of Action for Implementation on Migration, Environment and Climate Change is to provide a framework to address climate-related mobility, strengthen resilience and support communities to adapt to impacts of climate change.
Uganda is at the forefront of climate mobility governance in Africa. Its experience shows both the urgency of action and the value of planned, evidence-based response. Floods, storms, landslides, and droughts continue to drive displacement and sharp, wider mobility pattern, while many people also move temporarily or permanently to seek livelihoods, diversify incomes, or reduce climate risk.
How then do we begin addressing the impact of challenges caused by climate change, but on human beings?
In this action plan, there are several initiatives put in place to ensure that displaced individuals can survive in the changing climate.
But also ensuring that we provide water sources, ensuring that we provide household incomes, ensuring that we provide all the necessary livelihood inputs into how communities can live better.
The tool identifies specific hotspots that are at particular risk and support solutions based on those analytics to support communities in those specific hotspots.
With the increasing unpredictable climate change effects in the country, the International Organization for Migration calls on all stakeholders to provide assistance.
Other UN agencies or the government to go in and define actions that can be taken in order to provide solutions for people at risk.
Our goal must be to build communities that can anticipate wetland, adopt and also recover from climate and environmental shocks.
Lydia Chomkama, UBC News.
Poverty, unemployment and lack of basic household needs are among the factors exposing vulnerable people to human trafficking in Uganda. Catholic nun and human rights activist Sister Rosemary Nyirumbe says that empowering families economically and strengthening family support systems can help prevent exploitation. She was speaking in Gulu during a campaign against human trafficking organized by St. Monica's Girls Tailoring Center.
Human trafficking involves the recruitment, movement or exploitation of people through force, deception or coercion for purposes such as forced labor and sexual exploitation. Uganda faces both internal and cross-border trafficking with children, women and people from poor households among those vulnerable to exploitation.
To fight against human trafficking is to help everybody, starting with the young ones, to understand that, in fact, we don't need to go far if we want to start fighting for them.
Sister Rosemary Nyirumbe, a Catholic nun and human rights activist, has spent years supporting girls and women affected by conflict in northern Uganda. She is now using the same community-based approach to raise awareness about trafficking. She joined residents, activists, and other campaigners in a peaceful march through Gulu City to raise awareness about the dangers of trafficking and the need to protect vulnerable people. The campaign, held under the hashtag Healing Lives and Africa Against Trafficking in Persons, started at the Gulu RCC's office, moved through the city and ended at St. Monica's Girls Tailoring Center. Nyirumbe says poverty and lack of economic opportunities can push families and young people into situations where traffickers take advantage of their needs. She's calling for economic empowerment, stronger families and community vigilance to reduce the risk of exploitation.
We have women and the children are boys and girls, because the effort St. Monica is putting is to start from the hinterland very, very low, and then we look to a future of hope.
Representatives from the Institute for Healing of Memories in South Africa joined the campaign, sharing experiences on healing, community support and protection of vulnerable people.
Starting with the young ones to understand that, in fact, we don't need to go far if we want to start fighting poverty.
St. Monica's Girls Tailoring Center in Gulu provides vocational training and support to vulnerable young women, including survivors of conflict and violence. The center has supported girls and women affected by the Lord's Resistance Army insurgency through skills training, shelter, and rehabilitation. Nyirumbe says giving vulnerable young people practical skills and income-generating opportunities can reduce their dependence on unsafe offers that may lead to exploitation. She's also urging communities to report suspected trafficking cases and protect children and other vulnerable people from recruiters who promise jobs, education, or better living conditions.
The way you reason, by the time you are coming back, if you manage to come, because a good number of people come also in the coffin.
The campaign brought together community members and organizations working to prevent trafficking and support survivors. Organizers say sustained community awareness, economic empowerment, and stronger protection systems are necessary to reduce human trafficking and protect vulnerable people from exploitation. Mutonyi Hilda and Deo Harimana, UBC.
The Archbishop Mbarara Archdiocese, the Most Reverend Lambert Bainom Jisha, has called on parents to make homes safe and supportive for children to prevent acts of drug abuse and other harmful behaviors. The Archbishop says that harsh treatment and lack of guidance in many homes has pushed children into negative peer groups and risky activities.
Private sector players have called for harmonization of government policies to create a more conducive environment for investment, manufacturing and value addition. The call was made during the 7th Biennial CEO retreat, where business leaders discussed ways of strengthening Uganda's industrial base and positioning local products for the international market.
There is no amount of factory investment that can replace raw material certainty. Even if you build the largest factory on the continent.
One of the key things government can do is offer zero interest solar energy. We will pay for it, but offer it at zero interest.
Can we engage more in joint ventures to ensure that we leverage modern manufacturing techniques, quality control standards, and the global marketing strategies?
The retreat is focusing on how Uganda can move beyond policy advocacy to actual manufacturing and value addition as the country pursues its $500 billion economy target by 2040. Presidential CEO Forum Chief Executive Officer Irene Birungi Mugisha says the retreat provides an opportunity for private sector players to identify practical solutions to challenges affecting industrialization.
We know that by independence, people in money economy was only 9%. By 2013, it was only 32%. To date, we boast of 67 to 70%. And this is because of the vision that is driven by His Excellency the President, putting in several initiatives, the PDM, the MYOGA.
Our central message must be that industrialization should move beyond policy to a measurable economic transformation, more production, greater value addition, productive employment, stronger exports, and a more competitive private sector.
Deputy Speaker of Parliament Thomas Tayebwa commended the Presidential CEO Forum for championing Uganda's economic agenda, emphasizing the need to strengthen local manufacturing and value addition.
So, I want you to take keen interest in the new Samoa Agreement, which has a very critical part on market access for products from Caribbean, Pacific and Africa to the European Union.
Tayebwa reaffirmed government's commitment to working with the private sector to accelerate industrialization and achieve the country's tenfold growth economic target.
We need to see a way of localizing. You know, Ugandans, we are the ones who say we need local content, we need supply government, but when in your factories you don't allow Ugandans to supply you, you go China yourself. So what you want government to do, you also need to do it. For example, now when we are talking of PDM, how can we, people who are planting gonja, how can you coordinate with them so that you have known suppliers for gonja, okay, whom you can fall upon, and that's how your gonja will enter Europe, because the traceability will be very easy.
Meanwhile, the Minister of Energy and Mineral Development, Monica Museneru, challenged industry players to embrace value addition and invest in emerging energy technologies. She says solar energy is expected to become one of the dominant sources of energy, but more investment is needed in research, infrastructure, and transmission.
Why haven't we industrialized our minerals? The President has been pronouncing about a ban of exporting raw minerals, and we finally put it into a law. But people strive to smuggle instead of building. Now, after studying the sector, have realized that it is the fear of the downstream.
We need to act, but the policies do not allow us. Standards must be designed while the product is being developed, and also the procurement must evaluate lifetime value and national capability. Intellectual property rules must reward the inventor, protect public investment, and make commercialization attractive.
The 7th Biennial Private Sector CEO Retreat was held under the theme Moving from Policy Advocacy to Manufacturing and Value Addition Acceleration by Amplifying Uganda's Industrialization Agenda for a tenfold growth economy.
We apologize for that interchange. That was our story about the 7th Biennial Presidential CEO Retreat that took place today. We are the Deputy Speaker of Parliament, Thomas Tayebwa, said that government is committed to support the private sector to drive Uganda's industrialization move and agenda through manufacturing and value addition. We'll get the story about the Archbishop of Mbarara later on. Let's now take a short break.
Mami!
Wanje sabo.
Ugamotia. Oina kachi. Ha. Kagulinis take kagulinis. I want everything, eh?
Okay.
Yes. So, when I pay the time, this will increase my loan limits. Hey, Hemutieni Momo. Madam, remove the food, put more meat, add the meat. Yes. Hey. Now, these are the fruits of paying your loan is in time.
That's right. Every time you repay your Momo loan on time, your loan limit can increase, giving you access to more money when you need it most. Dial *165*5# to borrow, pay back, and grow your limit with Momo loans.
You have juice?
Yes.
Juice in me.
We don't need anyone's permission to move forward. What we need is the power to do it our way. Spiro is not your typical EV company. It's the power grid for African ambition. A network that connects Nairobi to Kigali, Lagos to Lome, Dar to Kampala. Not with cables and wires, but with clean, quiet, relentless movement. This is Africa, powered by us.
What if accessing government services became easier, faster, and closer to you? Introducing Service Uganda Centers, a new initiative designed to bring key government services closer to the people under one convenient location. Less movement from office to office, less unnecessary travel, better access to services and information. At the Service Uganda Centers, citizens will be able to access national ID services, passport processing, business registration, land and revenue services, and more, all in one convenient location. Whether you are in the city or upcountry, Service Uganda Centers are being designed with you in mind. Enjoy faster service, professional guidance, and a seamless customer experience. This is an initiative of the Government of Uganda, digitally powered by the National Information Technology Authority Uganda, NITA, under the Uganda Digital Acceleration Project Government Network. Service Uganda Centers, bringing services closer to the people.
So much for watching and welcome back from the break. We now talk business. The Honorable Sarah Opendi warns that legislators can no longer afford to sit on the sidelines of technological change. She stressed that a historic knowledge gap has left parliamentarians disengaged from crucial technological debates. This comes in the wake of advancing digital technologies whose pace for innovations is threatening the rate at which legislation is marching up.
Giving an account of her tenures in Parliament, Honorable Sarah Opendi observed, saying that legislators are often left behind in digital legislation.
We represent people. When laws are brought to the House, how many will understand? And little wonder when you have such a law, people look at it as a very technical piece of legislation, and therefore the House is almost empty.
A primary concern for the 12th Parliament is that Uganda's existing framework, such as the Data Protection Act and the Computer Misuse Act, have fallen behind the pace of modern technology.
So we have technology evolving. Every other time there are new things. And the current legislation, the current laws in place do not cover certain new advancements. For example, if you look at artificial intelligence today, our laws do not properly cover that. If you look at issues, around, for example, the TikTok, that space, there is a lot of abuse going on. So we need to actually amend the existing legislations.
While emerging tools like artificial intelligence offer public service efficiency, they also present substantial risks, especially for a country where close to 75% of the population is young.
We have a growing population, a young population, with close to 75% of the population being young. So we must be cautious about artificial intelligence, or else at the end of the day, what do we do with all this human labor?
Clear targets for the 12th Parliament have been set, urging members to advocate for nationwide digital inclusion and push telecom providers to expand connectivity beyond profitable urban areas, rather than treating the internet as a luxury. As the continent prepares for the African Internet Governance Forum in Ghana and the Global International Growth Forum in Nairobi later this year, Honorable Opendi issues a strong reminder to parents and policymakers alike not to let technology replace human responsibilities. Wadulo Arnold Mark for UBC News.
We thank you so much for watching. In the world of sport, we now take you to what is happening and some action in women football here in our report.
And today we are here to inform the public that we are going to be having a FUFA Women's Symposium. This much anticipated event will see us recognizing efforts in women's football. From the coaches, to the players, to service providers, to every single person that has done what they have to do to make sure that the game of football, especially for women, is uplifted.
Use the opportunity to recognize excelling talent of our young people. And we believe that this time round, we will do something different. We'll get a best 11, and the best 11 will come from the different teams. We encourage parents to allow young girls to play football. Because if parents don't support their children to play football, we will not have good leagues. So we really encourage parents, but also thank those that have allowed their children to play football. Football is a business like any other business.
That brings us to the end of what we had for you at this particular time. We have another arrangement at 10 p.m. that you do not want to miss. My name is Michael Jordan Lukomwa with Namuyomba Dorothy here and the whole team. Let's catch you then.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.